Started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the spectacular, the amazing, the web of. Oh, sorry, we're not doing Spider-Man. But anyway, the fantasy spectacular review of House of the Dragon, Episode 7 live review. Hello, everyone. This is Andreas, Pop Culture Guy. Yes, that's right. I'm monitoring this episode. Today, I'm here again with three awesome men, very beautiful men. Jeff, handsome man, Jermaine, handsome man as always.
I'm non-binary now, bruh.
All right, listen to what I say. I say handsome man. I didn't say anything that. Anyway, Dom, handsome man as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, what are you setting us up for, Andre? I'm like, don't get me wrong. I love compliments as much as the next guy, but like, damn, what's going on here? You're talking about some dragons, sowing us some seeds.
Yes. No, I'm not talking about massage, Jeff. Put that back, all right? Anyway, I just want to warm us up here today. Get us ready to review Episode 7. That's right.
It warmed you up for Savage Shield.
Oh, yeah. I want that massage.
Yes. No, we need the House of Dragon massage.
This is what happens during the massage. You get grabbed up, motherfucker.
Jeff, don't deny your feelings. We all know. I know, and some people told me that that's your lover, and you're just
Andre,
get grabbed up.
Andre, are you trying to say that Jeff should search his feelings because he knows it to be true? Or are you trying to sneak in more fucking Star Wars references? Seriously, like, can we just leave that on the side? I'm trying to focus on Thrones here. I'm trying to focus on some raging throners here.
No, this is Romeo and Juliet, but Jeff version of Romeo.
I'm glad somebody other than me is actually doing the show in a hotel. Usually it's just me all the time that's in the hotels doing the show. It's nice to see somebody else doing the show in the hotel.
And you know, with that intro, I mean, you know where my mind went. So
So anyway, we're reviewing Episode 7. Title. Someone help me here. What was it? The red
sewing.
The red sewing. Thank you, Dom. The red sewing. This is the penultimate episode to the season finale of season 2 coming up next Sunday. So let me just quickly ask you guys a question. Dom, let me go for you first. Mm-hmm. What's your opinion? What was it like coming from episode 6, entering episode 7? Go ahead.
It was everything I wanted. And that's the thing that I think that this show has been delivering on first and foremost, that, you know, some of the higher paid critics are not necessarily understanding, is this is a show that is made for us. It's a show that's made for the fans. And even though it's not adapting the book to a T, it doesn't need to, as far as how it's, you know, taking the major events that we kind of know of and kind of twisting them and flipping them a little on its head, making them a little bit more character oriented, a little bit more focused. And yeah, I mean, I've been hyping it up all season. We got the sewing of the seas, and it was just as bonkers and spectacular and scary and thrilling and fucking awesome as I was hoping it would be. This is like one of the defining, if not the defining event. I feel like of the two major defining events of the dance are Viserys' death and the sowing of the seeds. Ultimately, you know, this is kind of the next major event that's going to set the tone for the rest of the war to come. And it's a very decisive and important episode. And it also just delivered when it came to just pure entertainment.
No, I agree. Jermaine, what's your opinion on coming from episode 6 entering to this episode, sir?
Well, my opinion is that next episode we're gonna get a lot of fight scenes. The intrigue in this particular episode was amazing, setting everything up for what is sure to come. And it was good to see. Dom, I did read the book, but I'm not as good with my memory. There were a few things that I did remember, things that I knew would happen, and they did happen. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen next week.
Yeah, don't worry. Come on. You know I'm here as far as recapping everything as far as how it happens with all the micro minutia that, you know, my brain obsesses over.
Yeah. Thank goodness. We really need that. Especially with the deep lore of this franchise. Jeff, same question. What was like from coming from episode 6 entering this episode, sir?
Well, I'm going to answer the question. It was good. Not saying anything about episode 7. Episode 6 was a solid episode. And it was a good stepping stone, to set us up for the penultimate episode, leading up to the finale, which is a crucial episode, right? In the series, you got to hit a home run when you're in episode 7. That's a spot that you got to come clutch, or episode 5 or whatever. You've got to come clutch with that episode, or else that's not a good sign for the finale if the episode leading up to it is shit. Usually, it's not a good indication for the series. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, the House of the Dragon is already so good that I wouldn't know the reviews like Dom does. But I'd imagine this is really highly reviewed and well reviewed. This is probably going to be the series that will, I would think, push Shogun for the Emmys. Probably, if anything, out of all the other shows.
They're not competing against each other. That's the only thing, because it's 2 separate years. Shogun's in the spring. This is going to qualify until next year's Emmys.
Oh, okay.
It's past the cutoff. The cutoff is in June for the June 1st for the Emmys.
All right. So that's probably better for the House of the Dragon.
Yes, agreed.
Less competition, right?
I don't see many other shows beating it next year unless something really comes out of the blue. Like if somehow Daredevil is great, but this is in the bag for winning drama next year.
The season's been really good so far. Episode 6 was really solid. It led into episode 7 very well.
Yeah, I agreed. Just briefly, I wasn't here episode 6. I was away, and I gotta say, I really enjoy episode 6. I think it really ramped up the plot points and storyline. And entering into episode 7, I was very satisfied that they pay off these major plot points that we've been sort of build up this season, which we're going to get into now. So let's get into the beginning of this episode. So we pick up from episode 6, where one of Cole's bastard sons has kind of connected to the dragon Sea Smoke, and Rhaenyra had heard of this news, and so she is riding her dragon and pretty much meets him in the beach. So Rhaenyra confronts Adam, that's his name, and he kneels and pledges, to her as the queen, and this is a really cool scene. I mean, you don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, first off, from the previous episode, she, Rhaenyra, the queen, was talking to Jess, her son, about the idea of getting new dragon riders for these dragons, so to get an advantage in the dances of the dragon war, right? And so seeing this, it's like, whoa, okay, this is interesting. So, and when we're in the beach, Rhaenyra asks Adam about his parenting, but obviously he withholds Cole's identity, so that Rhaenyra doesn't know about his Rhaenyra blood. Sorry. So we got that scene, which was really great. A great pickup from episode 6. Then after that, we get back to King's Landing, and the Grandmaster is treating Alicent's wounds that she got in episode 6 during the riot, and so after this, she is, disappointed over being removed from the Smoke Castle. Aemon has pretty much taken out of the council, which is not a good thing. So after this moment, Alicent seeks solace in the Kingswood and avoid the court. So basically, she just wants to move away from the politics of the King's Landing, now that she has no control of Aemon in this situation, which is not good. But what else Alicent could do about it? So she starts to prepare her leave, and she takes one of the King's Guard, Sir Rick
Rickard Thorne.
Rickon Thorne, which we saw him in last episode, right? Episode 6. And so she asked him to go with her, go with her with this camping thing. So that's what happened. And apparently she, I think, stated that she's not gonna return at all. Okay. Then after that, we go to next scene. We are in the courtyard where we see the two guards. These two Kingsguard have their white clothes stripped and are sentenced to the wall by Eggman. And while we see this going on in the background, we got Lord
Jasper
Strong,
Wild.
that is Justice Driver, and another member from the Counselor talking to each other, and he gives him the news about the new Dragon Rider on Sea Smoke. So this is funny. Like, obviously in last episode we see that Eamon knows what's going on with Lord Strong. The Whisper person, that like he has his own agenda, and Eamon is not stupid like his brother Aegon was during this season, and so he has kept him away. So he last episode wants Otto Hightower to come back as his hand. So, which that kind of annoyed him in last episode. So here during this scene, when he's talking to one of the members from the Smoke Counselor about the information about, he heard one of his spies that someone has taken Sea Smoke as a writer. So that's a big deal. And so, but instead of sending this information to Eamon right away, lawyers suggest to withhold the information from Eamon. So that was crazy. So that was very interesting. Then going back to Dragonstone, the White Worm and Renee are having a conversation here. And they're talking about about the situation, about this new wire has taken over Sea Smoke, and they're rather researching noble houses to find scented Targaryen blood to get these dragons to cooperate. They said they want to search for King's Landing for bastards, dragon seeds with thicker blood ties, and which Renee agrees. So let me stop there. So let me go to you, Dom, about this first half, from the beach to the White Worm talking to Renee about finding bastards, dragon riders, instead of the linear blood. What do you thought about this first part of the episode 7, sir?
So, a lot to unpack here, obviously. First things first, the Rhaenyra-Adam confrontation. I found it very interesting that Adam chose not to reveal his parentage, even though he clearly knows. I'm still kind of questioning that, but I do find it interesting how kind of all he has to do is pledge his loyalty to Rhaenyra, and then she immediately accepts. It's like, oh, this dragon has clearly chosen him. He must be chosen. I think that if anything here, it's indicative more of Rhaenyra than Adam, especially, because in Rhaenyra's mind, right, Rhaenyra basically kind of seeing that, what happened with Stefan Darkland and Sea Smoke in the last episode. There's more to the melding of dragons and men than she previously thought, because up until this point, really the only knowledge that they'd had of dragon bonding was either the dragon eggs get placed in the riders' cradles as babies so that they literally grow together, or if it's an older already existing dragon who's had a previous rider that's passed on, usually that there's really only been a record of that happening 3 times: Lena, and then Aemond with Vhagar, and then Helena with Dreamfire in the dragon pit. So there really hasn't been a whole lot of knowledge of that, of people claiming older dragons. So kind of her seeing that, especially once hearing that Sea Smoke really chose Adam and not the other way around, that kind of gives her a lot of extra context that she really didn't have before, and assuming, as if anyone has Targaryen blood, they'll be fine with it. She's realizing, okay, there's a little bit more to this process that I thought. The dragons do have a way of choosing their riders. As far as the Allison arc in King's Landing, I'm like, okay, they clearly had nothing for her to do this episode, and they're just like, okay, she's just gonna wander off into the Kingswood. Her role at court has been ultimately revoked. It's just once more, it's kind of hammering the point home of Allison is becoming the oh my god, how do you say? She's becoming the victim of her own actions ultimately, where she went through all of this painstaking trouble, all of this gut-wrenching betrayal against Rhaenyra in order to ensure that her son ended up on the throne, and everything has gone to shit, absolute shit since then, and she's kind of past the point of regret. You know, you literally have seen her disassociating, and now it's even worse because at the very least, with Aegon on the throne, she could exercise some control because he's such an idiot, he'll listen to anybody. But Aemon on the throne, that's a totally different story because Aemon is somebody who not only is he smart and actually knows what he's doing when it comes to leading people, but he's also driven completely by the anger of his past. And that is just something that, again, that with certain people with chips on their shoulders, you just cannot get that chip off, ultimately. You really can't. And so, I mean, and you're seeing the results of that in the way that he's ruling. But Allison's not the only one that's kind of been spurned by him. Lara Strong. And also, I just wanted to point out one of my favorite bits from last episode that I didn't really get to talk about. When Lara Strong thinks that he's being selected as the new Hand of the King by Aemon. And instead, Aemon is immediately like, no, you toad. You toad. Talk about just demeaning him and putting him in his place. Like, Lara's like basically saying, like, Lara's, you're getting a little bit too big for your britches. Take a step back here. You know, I'm not my idiot brother. I know exactly who you are, what you're capable of, and what it is that you want. So, you know, take a couple steps back there. I thought that was good. As far as him sending Aegon's idiot friends who he put on the Kingsguard, who he almost let beat, who almost let his mother and sister get beat to death by the angry crowd last episode. I thought that was pretty funny. And then Rhaenyra and Mysaria on Dragonstone. I mean, again, I feel like that's more of just a continuation of the Adam Seasmoke thing and proving that there is more obviously to the connection between Targaryens and dragons than they previously thought. And the idea that, okay, Stefan Darkland was a Targaryen removed from a Targaryen removed, but if they could go for more lowborn people, more Targaryen bastards, who they know there are a lot of in King's Landing from, you know, for decades and decades and such. I mean, we see how many answer the call later in the episode. There's a lot of them, you know? They figure, and I love how, too, they're basically like, this isn't said in the episode. Oh, shut up. I'm almost done. I love how this what? Oh, easily distracted. Fucking asshole. I love how this isn't said in the episode, but how much he knows that, okay, they're baseborn. You know, if the dragons kill some baseborn people, who cares? You know, there's always more where that came from. There, I'm done. You happy?
Thank you, Dom. Jeff, thank you so Jeff, you did an Oscar thing. Oh my god, that is so funny. Anyway, Jeff, let me go to you, sir. What you thought about the opening and to the point of Renee talking to the White Worm about, you know, the bastard dragon riders and all that.
Really solid opening. Great opening of the episode. Really well paced in terms of the scene to scenes. You know, from camera shot to camera shot. As you're jumping, everything really flows tight. I like the way that they pace the episode overall, but it's a great intro. There's a lot that goes on. You see a lot of back and forth in that section between green and black. There's a lot of back and forth, and I like that. I like that rat-a-tat-tat delivery.
No.
Like that. I like seeing that when they do things like that. I like seeing Alicent broken off from the rest of the family. I thought that her whole going to the Kingswood thing was a solid deal in terms of the fact that the Greens really didn't get a lot of this episode. This was really a black episode. You know, it was a Rhaenyra episode, setting up episode 8 because I think they probably felt like they needed to balance things out, and they also wanted to do this whole Dragon Seed deal, right? So they knew it was going to be that was going to be time consuming, which it was. I think it was probably the 24 when she actually goes down with the dragon seeds later on in the episode. It's right at the 24-minute mark of the episode is when that happens, and that's all from there on. It's all pretty much except for the end. It's all black. So great show was great. I like the introduction of Adam. as being, it was really cool seeing him bend the knee to Rhaenyra and all that. I really thought that was dope. I liked his delivery with her on the beach. I thought the actor did a good job with the character, and overall, I feel like Rhaenyra's Master of Whisperers or whatever is more effective than the one they have over there with the Greens. Unfortunately, that's just been its reality though. Like, she's more efficient. It gets more done. It's hard not to be down. It's hard not to be on the side of Team Black in this dynamic. It's hard not to side with Rhaenyra. Frankly, on my part, that's how I feel. Like, if it was up to me and I was in the show, I would bend the knee to Rhaenyra,
True.
and then I would eat her coochie after that. I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, be careful, Jeff. She's not exactly swinging that. She's not exactly swinging that way anymore. So
let me get in there.
Oh my god.
It's all right. We will work on that.
Damon kind of ruined that for, I feel like, every other guy. So
we'll work on that.
Oh god. Oh my god, Dave. We will get to Damien soon. Yeah, I want to agree with you guys here, and I mean, first off, it's very funny. Hold. We'll be right there, Jermaine. Eamon is a very fascinating character. The fact that he has a one eye. I mean, I know he has a gem in his.
Will you just pass on to Jermaine and stop your bullshit?
You know what?
It's his turn to talk.
How about this? Fuck you, Jeff. Fuck you.
Whatever.
Anyway, whatever. You know what, Jermaine, go ahead. What you thought about this man is out of control today. What you thought about the beginning to the White Worm talking to Rhaenyra?
Well, first, I'm gonna try my best not to basically say what all of you all have said. So that scene on the beach, what I found to be amazing was how the dragons were guarding their dragon rider. Like, that was amazing to see. It was like they could feel the emotions of their rider, if you will. And you might be a dragon too, but nah, I got my rider, right? I'm gonna stand behind them 100%. I thought that was awesome to see. Also, so the scene with Clubfoot, I'm gonna always call him Clubfoot. So what he chose to do in terms of the information that he got was he basically chose to let Aemon be surprised. And what that basically means is that he's still siding with Alicent. So it puts him in a situation where his loyalties are going to be divided in a lot of different ways. And so I thought that was interesting. Also, that scene at Dragonstone, Baela, no words were spoken, but she immediately turned to Jace, because the implication of allowing bastards, if you will, would then put Jace in a precarious situation. And at the time, I didn't understand. Well, I could see why she would look at Jace, but the implication in that moment is like her heart immediately went to Jace. And Jace was already thinking the same thing too, and so that was a moment. That was a moment.
Oh, we have another person in the sketch. Ben, how you doing, Ben?
Doing all right, brother. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Well, I guess you're in the panel here. Let me throw you the question. We're talking about the beginning of the episode to the point where the White Worm is talking to Rhaenyra about getting bastard people to take the dragons. So what do you thought about that first section, sir?
The first section I really enjoyed. It showed how her son felt about this whole idea, how he thought he was crazy, she was crazy, that it wouldn't work. But then at the same time, he also has the realization that he is no better than the common folk. So he had a little bit of a, I guess, come to Jesus moment, if you might say, where he was just,
yeah.
yeah, those are my thoughts about it. About the first part, I really enjoyed it. I loved it. The acting was superb. The dialogue between Jace and Rhaenyra was just fantastic to watch them go back and forth. It was really good.
No, I agree. So let's now get into the next part here. So we go into the next scene where we see Lord Oscar Tully now becoming the new Lord Paramount of the Triton, because his I guess his father. Someone correct me if his father has now passed. So he meets with the river lords, and he just decided to honor his late grandfather. That's what it is. Just looking at my notes. Grandfather's oath to Rhaenyra as Viserys' heir, and offers Damien his alliance. But to do that, the other river lords have to kind of go with this as well. But however, not only that they doubt Oscar's leadership due to his age, he's inexperienced, and he just has become a leader, but also despite Damien's very cool and just overall kind of like present in this land, like has become so much more trouble when Damien just arrived in this Harador. But his for Damien for the war crimes, he was he had allowed the House of Blackwood to commit. So to win the River Lords to their side, Oscar demands Damien to dispense justice against Sir William Blackwood. So which actually happened, and which was really a fantastic scene. Very like first up, that kid was a really great actor kid, because I was, some actors can be good, but then some actor kids could be really bad. This kid was really good. He really felt like he was part of the universe, and he really first when the fact that he stood against Damien is very impressive. Like he's like, look, I don't trust you, but I am holding my grandfather's oath to Rhaenyra as heir. And this kid was so he was the best part about this section of this episode, which I'm very curious what you guys think about him, Lord Oscar Tully. So after Damien beheads Blackwood, we get another great cameo here. I wasn't here last week. We got the return of Pappy Constantine, played King Viserys from season 1. We get back him again here as the older version. When he became Flair, he lost his arm. He's talking to Damien in this scene, and he's talking to him about how he never wanted the crown. So and because as we see, wearing the crown, it has kind of it didn't destroy Viserys' mind. It just destroyed him physically throughout season 1. And so I'm very curious why we got this scene, and it's very intriguing. It just shows more.
Viserys is rough looking, bruh.
You
mentioned Elsa the puck his ass?
How dare you? This man, how dare you?
That was Allison screaming.
Oh my god. That was Alex's scream. Okay.
Viserys wanted the boat when he was all leprous there at the end.
Oh my god. Anyway, Aaron, you're distracting me now. Anyway, so we got this invasion, and the last thing that Viserys asked Damien if he really wants the burden of the crown. So which that was really the last thing we get to Damien. And then just the last thing to do is this thing we get back to Aegon. He's getting recouped. Not in a good way. He's still in pain. So we see Grandmaster trying to help him move around. what's he doing? I mean, like he just helped him to walk around with a cane, and then like it breaks, it completely breaks, and then he falls down, and then of course out of all the people that comes into the room, we get Larry, Laris coming back, and the most biggest thing he did was to push the Grandmaster to accelerate the king's recovery, despite the physical exertion is making him have more pain, which he doesn't realize that. So I mean, because he doesn't like that Aemon is the king, and he wants Aegon to be back again as the king. So that's what was really going on with the scene, is that he's trying very like desperately have Aegon back as the
he's trying to keep him alive too.
Yeah, well, yeah, for other reasons, for his own agenda, but yeah, so that's what happened in the scene. And so then after that we get back to well, this is briefly a thing. So we go back to this other section where Rhaenyra, not Rhea's, the granddaughter, and the sons Aegon and Varys depart. Rhaena, thank you. Depart to this land, the Era,
the Eerie.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Eerie, yeah.
Yeah, the Eerie. Thank you. Thank you. This you're right, Dom. These names were so difficult. I was like, okay. So, travel to Pentos. See that I know. So Pentos, but so this is funny. Last episode, Rhaena discovered that there was a dragon around this area, and so after they leave from the castle, she secretly leaves the group to track this wild dragon. Let me stop there. Let me go, Jermaine. What you thought about Lord Oscar to pretty much the granddaughter leaving the group to track the wild dragon? What you thought about this section?
Well, one thing that you missed was the fact that Carlos went to go see his son Adam.
Yes, yeah.
And Adam's rise offers Corlys an opportunity, which I think we're going to see a little bit later, but specifically as it relates to Lord Oscar. Lord Oscar ain't no punk. He played the role when he was talking to Daemon quite nice, like, oh, I'm going to defer to you in all matters. But no, when he got in front of his people, he was able to put Daemon in his place while also giving Daemon exactly what it was that he wanted. But he had to basically trick Daemon, not trick, but he used his words. And that's what I want to say about Lord Oscar. This dude has a silver tongue. He has a silver tongue, and he knows exactly how to use it, because basically what he did was he made Daemon rectify his own situation by killing Willem, what's his name, Blackwood. And I thought that was a pivotal moment. The reason why is because what it made Daemon do was it made Daemon see the folly of his ways from earlier, and also he understood what the stakes were, and so as a result, he basically had to play politics, something that Daemon has basically been unwilling to do. But he now understands how heavy the crown is, which is why Viserys basically asked him, do you want the crown? And we never really got to see whether or not he wanted the crown. I suspect that he understands that it's a whole lot different than basically just taking action. And also when it comes to Clubfoot, Clubfoot is basically working overtime to get Aegon upright in hopes that his revival, if you will, could upend Aemon's regency. That to me was just the whole point to that. Yes, he was pushing him, but he has to push him. If no one pushes him, then not only will Aegon die, but the realm might be led by Aemon, which Clubfoot sees as worse. All right. Also, Alan, Corlys's other son, oldest bastard son, also prefers to ride the waves, and I think that pleases Corlys. Why? Because he now has someone that he could leave his family too, right?
Yeah.
So and then also Rhaena, she wants to claim a dragon. She wants her rightful place, and my heart goes out to her.
Very good. Ben, you're next. Through Lord Oscar to the granddaughter seeking the wild dragon part. And you mute, sir. You mute.
Thank you. Sorry.
No problem. By the way, I love your shirt. I'm a
Thank
Batman fan.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite shirts. In fact, I have two of them.
Anyway,
But-
go ahead.
But Lord Oscar, that scene was just very well done. Yeah, there you go. Batman fans in the house. I love it. The Lord Oscar scene was so well done. I loved the fact that how he turns the tables on Damien, because Damien thinks he has this illustrious plan that he's going to get all these lords together, and all these bannermen together from the Riverlands, and then all of a sudden, Lord Oscar is like, "Well, there has to be justice for what was done." Then he ends up executing. Can't remember his name right now, but
Blackwood.
Lord Blackwood. He ends up
Willem Blackwood.
executing Lord Blackwood. Just incredible acting again, incredible storytelling throughout that whole scene. And then with Viserys, another vision while he's in Harrenhal. Just really, I think Daemon is starting to really figure out that being king destroyed his brother. And the fact that Daemon wasn't there to help his brother added to that. So it's this guilt that's manifesting itself through these visions that he's having throughout this entire stay that he's had in Harrenhal. And then moving on to the Eerie next, correct? Sorry, my brain's a little long day.
No worries. Yeah. We're it's the next thing is the everything.
Okay. And Rhaena, she hates it up there in the Eerie, and the fact that she's having to leave with Rhaenyra's other sons. She wants this dragon so bad, as Jermaine said, and it's evident. She just wants to go find it. She finds the bones and the scorch marks on the ground, and she wants her dragon like the rest of her family. I think she really feels that she missed an opportunity to become a dragon rider, and that is really where her heart is. She wants to be a dragon rider. She wants to fight. She wants to help Rhaenyra reclaim the throne, and it's very not heartwarming, but it's very relatable. That's the word I was looking for. It's very relatable because, like, we all just want to do something. We may have missed a chance to do something great, and we just want to keep working to get back to that one situation or get back to that thing that we really, really want to do. So we keep searching and we keep working hard at it. So I like Jermaine. I really feel for her. It's a rough situation for her. Those are my thoughts.
Thank you, Ben. I really appreciate that. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I did like that part of the scene, Rhaenyra seeking out the dragon, because if Aemon didn't took her mother's dragon, there could have been a chance for her to be a dragon raider soon, but it didn't happen. So hopefully we'll see that come true either next episode or maybe next season. So I'm very curious where we go with her character. Dom, you're next. and tell me what you thought about this section of this episode.
All right, I'm going to try not to talk as much about this section because I'm not going to lie. There are a couple events in this section. I'm like, okay, this is just the stuff that we need to get through in order to get to the fun stuff of this episode. The Damon stuff at Harrenhal. I'm like, finally, okay, we're getting some payoff here. Also, I want to give a shout out to that actor, Archie Yates, who played Oscar Tully. Finally, we have a physical character, not a hallucination. No, not a dream sequence, nothing. A real character. And of course, naturally, it has to be a child because only a child would have the balls to say what Oscar Tully said to David in this episode. Basically, like, yeah, you ain't shit. All you've done in this episode is fuck shit up for the rest of us. And now I'm here to clean up your mess. And on top of that, on top of cleaning up your mess and giving you your army that you came here to get, I'm also going to make you my bitch and basically force you to do my bidding. Yeah, this is the best Tully character in the entirety of the Game of Thrones arc. Because I'm sorry, compared to the disaster show that was the Tullys in Game of Thrones, oh man, this is showing like the power of House Tully, like why they were Lord Paramounts of the Riverlands for so many years. So I just loved everything going on with that. Rhaena in the Vale. I mean, it's a quick scene, it's a brief scene, it's a setup scene. I like that they are committing to having Rhaena ride Sheep Stealer instead of Nettles, especially since Rhaena has so little to do in the books. So I really like that. There's not too much that happens there other than the fact that it's like, okay, this is my chance. I know there's a dragon out there. I'm either going to tame this thing or I'm going to die trying. And then Laris and Aegon, I mean, somebody mentioned before that, Laris was still remaining loyal to Alicent, and to an extent that's true. But even Laris seems to understand that, yeah, at the end of the day, there's only so much more that Alicent can do. So, like, Laris is an opportunist. He goes where the opportunities are. So he's like, yeah, if I get a chance, I'm going with, the younger ones, the guys who are eventually going to rule. But also he knows that since he doesn't stand a chance in hell with Aemond, he's like, all right, I got to focus on Aegon because if there's a chance in hell, and that actually comes back to, like, a big payoff once the Blacks take King's Landing because they're expecting Aegon to be there. He's still injured, and he is not. And there's only one person that got him out. And it's pretty obvious to say who that was.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Dom. Jeff, Chewbacca, tell me about your opinion on I just had to do that, sir. I'm sorry. Tell me, Jeff, about the Lord Oscar thing to the granddaughter.
It's obvious that Rhaena is going to get the dragon. They wouldn't have her out there doing what she's doing if just to get burnt down. That would make no sense. For them to set her up like that in the show, only to have her not be rewarded with a dragon, it would make no sense. So it might be next episode, or it might be season 3, episode 1, but she'll get the dragon. And honestly, I don't know how willing they're willing to go from the books in terms of the source material of this series. I don't know how far they're willing to go to bend the stuff from the books. But like Team Black's gonna be looking pretty fucking strong when they add another dragon. And once Rhaena gets that dragon, that wild dragon, that shit's gonna be crazy. They're gonna have a lot of fucking dragons, man, and an army. Like that shit's gonna be fucking insane. So I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch the whole House Dance of the Dragon again. It's been a long time. I need to refresh. It's been since I actually reviewed the first season of House of the Dragon. I'm so used to playing drinking games that I get afraid while I'm talking, that I'm like saying words that are going to be I'm going to get in trouble and have to drink. I'm like afraid while I'm talking that I'm going to as we start to go. That's just one of the things that does playing the drinking games does to me. Every time I hit like a key word or a key point, I get a little bit like afraid. But it was great to see Rhaena again. I like her character. I think that she's really cool. I like all of Rhaenyra's children. I think they're all really interesting characters. Much more interesting than the ones in the Greens. Alicent's kids, they're all fucked up. Yeah. We'll see what happens when the other son shows up from Old Town. He's probably a fucking douchebag too. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I mean, I've heard Darren's not as bad as the other two, but again, given Alicent's track record as a mom, that's not saying much.
No.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I got, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. And Jermaine brought this up, and this good point. Every time I'm done with these questions, please bring up points that I never brought up. I totally forgot about I didn't forget about the Cole and Adam conversation. The Cole and the other brothers conversation. It's so many things is happening, so I'm gonna miss some points in this episode. Please bring up other scenes that I may be missing that needs to be like bring under the attention of the conversation, please. So let's get back to this. So then we get into another section here. We go back to Dragonstone. Trace, Rhaenyra's son, is talking to her and is pretty much challenging her decision about the bastard dragon riders, plan. Because A is going to threaten the Targaryen, the bloodline, and the section, right? And during the scene, I was very shocked about this, and I was very happy because from the first season, particularly for him, he always knew that he was a bastard, and so I was very happy that Rhaenyra revealed that Sir Harren Strong was his biological father.
She didn't reveal it. He did.
Yeah, he figured that out a while ago.
Oh yeah. So because thank you for correcting, because I was confused how that scene did it. I was like, did he knew or Rhaenyra revealed it? Because when I was watching that today, I was like, because I rewatched first season before this season, but it's been so many weeks now. It's like, okay, so thank you for correcting me on that, because that was a little weird, just really bizarre to double beat this reveal, but whatever. But same time, when we responded that the bastard dragon riders should deserve respect, come on, the half this family are bastards, her son and her other the bloodline is already kind of all over the place, and so what else are you gonna do about that? After this conversation, we get one of the aides, Linda, has received the White Worm's instructions on where to find the Targaryen bastards, and the word quickly spreads out throughout the city so that they can recruit them. We go back to this bard at the tavern. The two men encourage this character. Dom, help me out here. His name is Ulf.
Ulf, yeah, Ulf the White.
Okay, Ulf the White, and who had gloated about his Targaryen ancestry bloodline before to join the other the dragon seeds and making the journey, right? And so Ulf is reluctant to do this, but however, partly due to his leg injury. That's why he's having the reason he doesn't want to go is
leg injury. That's why he doesn't want to go.
Yeah, which it's a full lie. He's a coward. He doesn't want to be eaten or sent fire by a dragon. So that's why. Yeah, but he also admits that his mother told him it might be false. So more excuses. That's the thing. Then after this, we get back to this character that we've been seeing throughout this season. Hugh Hammer. This is the character with the daughter being ill and they're having trouble getting out of the city. And unfortunately, we're hearing that the daughter is kind of almost dying with her illness.
Oh, the daughter's dead. She's dead.
Oh, it's dead. Okay,
she's dead and gone.
Yeah. So
she ain't alive anymore, bro.
This is a TV show, man. Coughing on TV and movies equals death.
You know what was funny about it? It's the wife just didn't do this very typical thing of my daughter died. It's and she's nonchalant. Is oh, why are you leaving?
That's called that's called being baseborn and working class in medieval times. Kids died, you moved on with your life. You laugh, but that's how it was.
Hey, not wrong.
The Black Plague wiped out millions at a time on a daily basis. Men, women, children alike. It does not care.
Well, that's very true. So
they should have a Bacta tank like me, but they should have talked to Boba like I did and got a Bacta tank. I got a Bacta tank.
Oh my god. Anyway, oh god.
And then
There you
knocks
go.
everything out. It knocks herp out. It knocks all that shit out, Dom.
Yeah.
If you get some herp or whatever, you just jump in there.
Oh, if only that was around during medieval times.
In the Bacta,
Yeah.
you're good to go.
Yeah.
It's expensive, but it's a good deal.
Oh, I bet it is.
You gotta get the Bulba discount.
Yeah. Anyway, let me wrap up this part. So like he's telling his wife that he wants to go to this journey to be the dragon rider, right? And the reason he say that apparently his mother was Targaryen, and she worked in a pleasure house and it was the aunt to Viserys and Damien. So another big twist that I wasn't expecting, but okay. So now after that, a few dozen Targaryen bastards, we see the scene where they're going to the boats organized by Alan and leave for the Dragonstone, and they make camp. And then so at the Dragonstone, we get the last scene of Allison, doing this very like William Shakespeare. Like I don't know, you guys seen what is it, Ophelia, where like that character goes to the lake. It was somewhat like that, like Helmet, where Ophelia goes to the lake and drowns to death, like which it doesn't happen to Allison, just Allison goes to this lake. So let me stop there. Let's see, Edie, Meeny, Money, Mo. Jeff, let me go to you first. What you thought about this
I gotta go first. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, I mean, you're the man of
I like how they're all shouting in the bar, like Alp the Dragon Slayer or whatever, Alp the fucking Dragon Seed or whatever. This shit was awesome, dude. Alp the Dragon King or some shit. I loved it. I was cheering and shit. I was like, hell yeah, Alp, you get it, brother. Alp fucking, what a cool name, dude. Alp.
Yeah, it's better name than Gwaine.
That's a dope name, bro. Alp. I love that shit. So anyways, so the daughter died. It's really sad. She didn't make it, but it'll be all right, Andres. Don't worry about it. We'll move on. It'll be okay. We'll remember her. Her memory will be her. We'll always remember her. During this passage, isn't this when Rhaenyra actually has her Master of Whisperers actually facilitate the railing up of the dragon seeds? I like that part of the episode. I like seeing the interwebbings of how what is the character's name? The Master of Whisperers?
Missaria.
I like Lady Missaria's the shit she does where she's able to use her connections in King's Landing. It's very intricate. It's very like James Bond, like suspense building and very spy orientated. I really like it. The scenes involving her activities, are all fun to watch. It's cool. It's cool seeing that type of genre being reflected in this like sort of like almost Shakespearean kind of medieval kind of setting, right? With a time period. It's interesting to see like things like that, themes like that. But it's cool seeing the ability that Rhaenyra is able to leverage Mysaria and affect shit on the ground in King's Landing the way that they did. They did a great job of shooting that whole deal from scene to scene. It was great seeing the message being passed out, like how they showed the whole line of the session that was required to pass the message down the line, and get it out. And you kind of for a while there you could kind of catch up to it, and it was interesting to watch unfold. I guess besides that, I really definitely enjoyed Rhaenyra's performance overall across the span of the entire episode. I thought this was her strongest one, probably out of Darcy. This was her probably strongest episode in the series so far. This season, at least, I thought this was her episode. She sort of owned it, even though we had the dragon seeds. It was really like watching her watch it go down was dope. And so just her scenes with Jace were great. He made some good points with her. It's somebody who was going to have to bring that kind of stuff up with her at some point. So why good for it to be him of all people, like to be the one to bring that up instead of the small council, right? Because it would have came up no matter what. And that's pretty much all I got. I'm going to pass on my own over to Jermaine.
All right. So basically, Allison can no longer stand the coming disaster that is certain to befall her family, her people. Her whole thing was to keep the peace, right? And so now that Eamon is in charge, she knows that there's no peace that is going to happen. So she resigns herself to go to the woods. She's the lady of the lake. She's swimming in the pond. She's just over it. Like she knows that whatever is going to happen is going to be bad, is going to be tragic, and the only thing that she can do is control herself. And so she goes to a place of peace. Jake, and you know what? Dom kind of mentioned it last week. I believe it was last week, where he basically said that Jace is blaming the white worm for what his mother attempts to do. However, I believe it's a masterful stroke. Why not use what you've got, right? The only problem, though, is that now Jace's claim could be in jeopardy. Okay,
That could be. It is. It straight up is.
And so he's telling his mom, "Hey, look, think about me. Think about what's going to happen to me." Now, for me, win the war and then try to solidify things. You could always kill these people. There's a whole bunch of stuff that could happen later, but right now what you got to do is you got to win the war. So I do give them props for thinking steps in advance, but we don't need that right now. Basically, Andre said it. Ulf is scared. He's just scared. Bottom line, plain and simple, he's scared. But to see the dichotomy between him and Hugh, what he wants to do is he wants to be. Look, I couldn't protect my wife. My daughter died. Something good has got to happen from all of this. And if I can be a dragon rider, there could be some good. But this is something that his wife says. I do not care to be a lady, Hugh. And I do not care to be a widow. Oh, that was it right there. And still, he left. Also, Alan also understood what he was being asked to do. I wondered whether or not he wanted to be a dragon rider. And I'm talking about well, anyway, I wonder whether or not he himself wanted to be a dragon rider when he got all of these Targaryens onto those boats. It was just a wondering of mine, and that's all I've got right now.
Thank you, Jermaine. Everyone got the chance to talk.
No. You need to go to bed and Dom.
Okay. Dom, you're next.
Yeah, so to bounce off Jermaine's point real quick, actually, Jermaine, so in the book, put on my book reader hat for a second there, Alan actually did attempt to participate in the sowing of the seeds and attempted to claim Sheep Stealer, who almost burned him to death, and he was narrowly saved at the last minute by his brother, Adam. So that did happen. I like, though, the direction that they're going with Alan, as far as Alan is, again, showing the contrast between Adam and Alan, that Alan tells Corlys when Corlys confronts him after talking with Adam that he is much more so. He is Salton Sea. He is Valyrian to the core. He does want to help in this conflict, but not in a way of helping the dragons. And I love how he takes his part as far as being kind of the ferryman as far as helping the dragon seeds get to Dragonstone from King's Landing. Jace, for a second, I want to talk about him. I understand where he's coming from, very, very much so, as far as his legitimacy being questioned. The whole idea of the bond between the Targaryens and the dragons is supposed to be sacred, and if we start just doling it out to baseborns, we kind of lose our validity and our claim. And as far as him coming at Rhaenyra, as far as being like, wow, like you never once considered what would happen when you ended up having kids with Harwin Strong. You never once thought about the long-term effects and what that could have on your future children, you know? Like, and I have had to live with this knowledge and carrying this secret, which up until now, we've only really been able to, you know, push off as being like lies pushed by the other side. But now we have a legitimate problem here because now you're letting other bastards who look way more like Targaryens than I do into this prominent position of power. My only problem is the initial motivation for it, because he doesn't have any of these problems until it's Mysaria who's the one that comes up with the idea for the bastards. And he's just jealous that, oh, she's basically taking my idea and doing the better version of it. That's the only chink that I have in what's otherwise a pretty flawless arc for Jace. You know, when he was doing kind of a little bit of the pouty kid thing, which we've seen in a lot of medieval properties, specifically from actors around that guy's age. That was the only, it's a micro nitpick, but it was one thing that I couldn't help but pick up on, especially once Rhaenyra fires back with, what are our other options? Literally, like, logistically speaking, what are our other options? Of course, you can go back to the fact that, again, Rhaenyra has blatantly just ignored everybody's advice when she could have, you know, the fact that she could have ended this war multiple times and she chose not to, but whatever, that's in the past. We got to focus on the present right now. The contrast between Hugh and Ulf. Oh, man, like, I've been saying it from the beginning. These guys are important. They may be distant from the plot. These guys are important, and we see it in this episode. Obviously, this is just the initial setting. I want to save more about those two, you know, obviously when they complete the, you know, when they bond with their dragons respectively. But again, there was a reason why we have been following these two characters, and I love seeing like kind of their own individual motivations, where Ulf is kind of doing it out of pure pressure versus Hugh is doing it out of this need for desperation. He's like, I'm on the verge of losing everything. I need to do something, or else like nothing is going to matter. And I love how Ulf, it's a matter of like, oh, I don't necessarily want to do it. My leg is injured and all that. But he's kind of acting rationally, where it's like, yeah, I don't want to get fucking eaten by a dragon, guys. Like, that's not worth it. You know, I was obviously talking all this nonsense because I never thought this would actually happen. And now that it's happening, you know, and then Hugh, much more so, is a matter of it's like he's on the verge of losing everything ultimately. I don't want to reiterate that. But as far as this being very important, as far as, you know, kind of where these two characters are, both representing, you know, the common folk and kind of how this is really the only time in Song of Ice and Fire history that they're kind of on the level of the royals and have a chance to take it. We're going to see that have some pretty drastic consequences later on in the war. Once we see, you know, once obviously they've helped Rhaenyra with her claim ultimately.
That's very good. Yeah. Now, Dom, thank you. Really great. Ben, you're next, sir.
All right. So, yeah, I absolutely kind of go off of Jeff's description of the scene. I love, like, basically the use of psychological warfare, like spreading these rumors, these whispers, gathering up all the Targaryen bastards. It, like, throughout this whole season, we've just seen an excellent use by Rhaenyra's psychological warfare, getting underneath the skin, causing the riots and all this stuff, and then now leading up to this by gathering all the Targaryen bastards to take them and go see if they can become dragon riders. And then also to piggyback a little bit off of Dom, yeah, I love the absolute contrast between Ulf and Hugh. Ulf was talking a big game, talking all trash and talking all this shit, and all of a sudden, now that it's become a reality, you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do it, guys. I mean, I hurt my leg. I did all this other stuff. Like, I think I'm just gonna sit here and just do nothing now that, like, I'm actually might have to go get burned by a freaking dragon. But then Hugh lost his daughter. About to make, like, his wife is just heartbroken over that. You can just see and I think it's even more gripping that she's not sobbing. Like, a lot of Hollywood does portray, like, these moms, like, no, my daughter died. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
this silent pain, like this silent suffering having to just process losing their daughter, and then and seeing her husband just start to spiral and go into this like desperation mode where he feels like he has to rescue them in a sense. But then he feels this obligation. He's like, I have to do this for my family. I have to do this in order to save whatever claim that I have left for my family. And it's a really selfless act. And I mean, as a father and as a husband, that really resonated with me, because like there's so much that like I would do for my family, and how I would act if I was put in that kind of situation. Out of desperation, I would do anything that I can in order to help my family, in order to put my family in a better position, even if that means possibly losing my life to a dragon. Pretty epic to think about. But yeah, no, I love the contrast between those two as well. It was very well played out. That whole sequence was just played out very well. And then with Rhaenyra and Jace, I may have accidentally flipped these two scenes earlier on in the show. I apologize.
No worries.
But with Rhaenyra and Jace is like, these mongrels are like dude, like you've been fed a silver spoon, but like honestly, you're a bastard too. It's like,
yeah,
like you kind of see this like pompous ass version of Jace that like you've kind of known was there the whole time, but it finally manifests itself as just like, wow, dude, like you're talking all this stuff. Like, I mean, he's also worried about his claim, which is a legitimate worry, because like if all these lowborn people can ride dragons too, like, then what does that make us? You know, like, kind of hurts the whole Targaryen, you know, the whole Targaryen name, the whole Targaryen bloodline, and like their relationship with the dragons. But at the same time, Rhaenyra is trying to win a war quickly and without killing thousands upon thousands of people. If they can just fight with dragons, then it's a better option in her mind for her. And again, the scene was just put together beautifully. The chemistry between Rhaenyra and Jace was on point. Like we just can't. It has been just phenomenal and like you see Rhaenyra working through the issue, talking it through, and then Jace just honestly being a moody teenager and putting up those walls and be like, nobody understands me, kind of thing. So those are my thoughts.
No, thank you, Ben. I really appreciate that. Yeah, and I like you brought up the when Jace says Muggles, you know, the low. It was funny. It just reminded me of Harry Potter. I was like, you filthy whatever
Mudbloods.
Mudbloods. Thank you. Before we head into the final questions, I want to propose a question to you guys, because we're gonna wrap up the season next week. And what is your guys' opinion? You know, I hear some criticism for this season because we only have 8 episodes, and there's a lot we have in these episodes, right? And I heard the criticism there's way too many characters, and like way too many new characters we have this season. And what do you think about, like, do you think that this show is doing a good job of pacing these new characters and setting up their plot and all that? Like, what do you think about, particularly, we have Hugh here and Awful, towards the end of this episode having dragons. So what do you think about this criticism that, with these new characters that we have, in this season, you think that they're maybe take up maybe too much screen time for maybe certain characters like King Green? What do you think about this question that I'm posing to you?
Every other single criticism levied at Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, with the exception of the final season of Game of Thrones, it's invalid. It's invalid because every single criticism of this show and this world and this lore inherently does not understand the intricate detail with which Martin uses to build his worlds ultimately. And they always pay off and they always work and they're always interesting. It is always to me a pure figment of, again, they're just bored and they have to create nitpicks for the sake of whatever publication they're working for. That's all it is. Because, again, I've been saying this from the beginning of the season. Wait for the friggin' payoffs. And I almost always say this every time I see this sort of criticisms towards this sort of a show, because 9 out of 10 times the payoffs are worth the wait. 9 out of 10 times. And then everybody is taking back what they're saying. You know, it's very, very rare that it doesn't stick the landing. Obviously, again, the 8th season of Game of Thrones is the exception. But for me also, I think that the most surprising thing is even though this has less episodes than season 1, this is 8 episodes as opposed to season's 1's 10, the season is still very much taking its time. They easily could have fit, if they wanted to, which I'm glad they didn't, but if they wanted to, they easily could have done, like, you know, Rook's Rest. You know, they could have done Blood and Cheese and the Duel of the Twins in the first episode. They could have done Rook's Rest in episode 3. They could have done Battle of the Gullet and King's Landing. They could have easily done all that. And the fact that they didn't, and the fact that they have chosen to be as deliberate as they have, introducing and layering on all the new characters. There's a lot of new characters, too. We got to think like 8 or 9 new characters this season. It's impressive, to say the least, and it shows that they're playing the long game in terms of telling this story to the right way.
No, thank you, Dom. No, I'm in the same page here. I'm very impressed that they're able to juggle like all of this in less episode, but that's the good thing, because and plus they don't have the, what do you say, the setbacks from season 1, like the time jump. Like, thank goodness they don't have that time jump of the season.
Right. It's the Game of Thrones formula. The odd seasons are the setup seasons, and the even seasons are the action seasons, and this is an action season.
Yeah. Jermaine, what do you think about this question, sir? Do you have any criticism about the pacing with these new characters and all that? Like,
no, because if you actually read the book, there are a ton more characters. They eliminated a lot of crucial characters that we don't even get to see. We don't even hear mentioned of in the series. Just to be quite honest. So they've done a good job with what they've done, to be quite honest.
Awesome. Ben, any opinion on this? Do you have any criticisms about the new characters and the pacing of it, or you've been satisfied so far to this point?
I've been pretty satisfied. I mean, it's like Dom said, it's a slow burn, but that's just how George R.R. Martin works, and especially with him working on the show, like, you're gonna get that slow burn. You're gonna get the details. You're gonna get the actual legit storytelling. Like, people want to criticize like slow burns because they want that instant gratification. They don't want to be patient and let the story
It's not even that they want to criticize slow burns. They want to criticize for the sake of being critical. There's a big difference there, because I can understand it if people were just impatient, but there's been plenty of times where they were perfectly fine with being patient. You know, it's to criticize for the sake of being critical, and that to me is just reductive and redundant and doesn't accomplish anything other than, okay, maybe getting more clicks on your page.
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, I would agree with that as well. But yeah, no, it's a great show, and it's all in the details. And I'm a very analytical person, so I love details. I love being able to analyze things and put things together, and to see the puzzle just come all together at once.
No, thank you, Ben. Jeff, any opinions on this? You've been satisfied so far with the season, with the new characters and everything so far?
Yeah, I'm happy with the show. I don't want to repeat anybody's, something somebody's already said, so I'm good on this question.
Okay. Just wrapping up this question. The reason I bring this up is that this is how you do intrigue and like building up twists and turns in a good way, where unlike a show like The Acolyte, I don't want to bring up The Acolyte, but like that show just completely did the opposite, where they just wasted so many like characters and like the pacing of so many of the mysteries that they had, where you look at this show like the House of Dragon, they were so efficient. Like, I agree with you, Dom. It was good that they deliberately pace, the the big moments, and also the major plot points and everything. The build about this war has been so good, and this just shows that I so far I think this season is a very much improvement on season one. Like I like season one, but there was some rap patches in season one, and I think this season has been the best, and like it's improving so much what we like about the House of Dragon season one. So let's get back to like wrap up this episode 3. So Renea welcomes
Episode 7, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Episode 7. Scratch that. Forget about that, folks. Thank you, Jeff. Episode 7. So Renea welcomes the Dragon Seeds. To Dragonstone. But we got an issue here. Her Dragon Keepers denounce her decision because they don't like this idea. Just like how Joss brought it up, the small folk with the dragons, and so they basically walk out completely on Renea. So there's nothing else to do. So she summons this dragon Vermithor. Vermithor, thank you. And so the Dragon Sea to come up and see who will kind of step up and see if the dragon will accept him as a rider. So the Dragon Seed Silver Dennis, this person with this very disfigured face, is the first to step forward and claim him. But you think it's gonna happen, but then unfortunately it went the other way. The dragon burns him to death and then released a very very furious attack on everyone around that room they're at, and it starts killing pretty much everyone there. And of course, initially avoiding the dragon fire, Hugh Hammer was hiding, and he steps between the woman and directly confronts the dragon. And then all of a sudden, the dragon accepts him, and having evaded this attack, so he's now a dragon rider for this dragon. So after that happened, we get back to Olaf, who's trying to escape in the caves and all that, and unknowingly he enters the Silverwing's lair, and the dragon awakens and quickly accepted him as a wire. So we got 2 big developments. Hugh and Olaf are now dragon riders, which is crazy. I can't believe it. So I was like, wow. I thought Olaf was gonna get killed, but this is wow. That was crazy. So after that, we get cut back into the small council meeting in King's Landing, and obviously one of the members in that council reports that Prince Targaryen and his dragon Tessarion are nearly ready to join the war, as reported. But the meeting is interrupted by Olaf and the dragon Silverwing, and everyone is panicking. They're seeing this, so Aemon rushes out to the sea to mount his dragon and pursue them, and he follows them to Dragonstone. And oh my god, I was getting the notes ready here. I was getting the notes here, and when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be the greatest final shots for this episode. And when Aemon flies directly towards that, we get the shot of Renea and the 3 dragons. I was like, oh shit, we're going to have a great episode next week. And that's what we see. We see the 3 adult dragons, Syrax, Vladimir, Silverwind, all with the wires. So, and cut to blank. That's the episode. So much to pack. So let me start with Dom. Let me go with you first. What you thought about this final section, sir? It's really big.
Oh man, I mean, the first thing that came to mind when I saw this, I told this to a couple people. I even said this on my recap last night on my channel, is that this is the sequence with Vermithor specifically is the greatest Jurassic Park sequel ever made. It is. It's literally, it's like, it has everything that we love about Jurassic Park. And I love how they pulled the classic a classic horror movie trope where the first dude that comes out to try and tame him is the dude that may as well have a sign that says "Eat me" on him. Like, there's no shot in hell that anyone knew, regardless of whether you'd read the book and knew what happened or were just watching it and are familiar with tropes. There's no way in hell that like kind of the dude with like the mangled cockeye face, it wasn't like disfigured enough to be that noticeable, but it was just enough to be like, something's off. You may as well have been like, it's so funny. Like, I rewatched some of the clips of it on YouTube. And again, there was nothing more that I love than going through some YouTube clips and just pure creativity that comes out of there, where Vermithor just looks at all of them and is like, "Ooh, an all-you-can-eat buffet. I don't mind if I do," you know. And it was just fucking great the way that it panned out and the way that it built up to Hugh claiming Vermithor. Again, the thing that I was talking with my brother about as well is that, again, character makes action and makes story, and that's what gets us involved. The way in which both Hugh and Ulf claim Vermithor and Silverwing is exemplary of their individual characters. You know, the fact that Hugh is in this desperate spot and has nothing to lose, while Ulf is kind of just like foddering and duttering around and survives by sheer dumb luck, ultimately. It's perfectly exemplary of their characters, ultimately. And it's an amazing sequence. It's what this entire episode was building up to. It's what this whole season has been building up to, frankly. You know, even though we got the badassness of Rook's Rest at the halfway point, this was the true event that we were building up to. And really, it's unlike anything that we've seen from Song of Ice and Fire on the small screen at this point, let alone in this season. And obviously, again, like it wouldn't be complete without, again, the back and forth of, you know, cutting to King's Landing, you know, and Aemon just looking as bored as humanly possible. This is never explicitly said, but Aemon detests the fact that, you know, he has another younger brother who may seek to rival him because he's never seen Aegon as his equal, and understandably so. But Darren, having been raised so far away from the conflict and muddle of King's Landing, Aemon definitely sees him as a threat for sure, even despite him being so much younger than him. But when Aemon hears that, oh, there's a dragon, and goes out to investigate, he sees not only any dragon, but Silverwing, one of the oldest dragons, who was ridden by Jaehaerys's wife's sister, Alysanne, and hasn't had a rider in close to, I think, like 60 or 70 years or so. He's immediately like, okay, so the sea smoke bit, which also he has not been told about as well. Jasper Wilde and Lara Strong did not tell him about that. He's like, okay, something's up here. So he immediately rides out to Vhagar thinking like, okay, you know, just there's another random guy. I'll take care of this lickety split. And then he gets to Dragonstone and is immediately like, oh, this is one of the few times where I watched the behind the scenes of Ryan Condal, the showrunner, talking about Aemon, where he's like, this is the first time in years that Aemon has been scared. Because he's expecting just coming on Vhagar, wreck shop like he's been used to for the last couple times. You know, he's already killed 2 dragons. And not only does he see, you know, a couple dragons, but he sees 2 of the biggest and baddest dragons now directly under Rhaenyra's control that pose a direct threat, because as Rhaenyra explicitly states, Vermithor is the second largest dragon after Vhagar. And unlike Meleys, who, despite the fact that Meleys did its best, Meleys really never stood a chance against Vhagar, especially after already having been weak in fighting Sunfire, Vermithor stands a big threat. Not to mention backed up by Silverwing and Sea Smoke. Not to mention the fact that now, with Vermithor, Silverwing, and Sea Smoke back officially on her side, and once Rhaena claims Sheep Stealer, that's 8 dragons now that Rhaenyra has to the Greens 2. Now that Sunfire's been crippled, you know, because Caesarion is still, it can fly, but it's still not big enough really to fight. So yeah, it was all leading to that last shot, which was literally Rhaenyra basically looking right at Aemon, being like, "Yeah, that's right. I haven't forgotten you killed my kid. We're coming for you, bitch. You and all your fucking traitor fucking family members." Loved it. Chef's kiss. Most badass final shot of an episode I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, I agree with you, though. I say that to my mom, who was in the room, and I was like, oh, shit, it's happening. You know, that scene with Renee. It was like, oh, my God. I'm going to go to you, Jeff, first, but I want to bring up Emma Diarras. Fantastic actor. That this episode alone is her best performance, and I just hope that she gets nomination soon in the Emmys next year. Jeff, your opinion on the last part of this episode?
Yeah, this is Emma Darcy's episode. She kills it. She kills this character. Say what you want about her personally, you know, with her non-binary bullshit. But you know, she kills it as Rhaenyra, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as Rhaenyra, she is fucking like literally like a boss. And fun to watch on TV. I'll tell you that. She's very entertaining. The Dragon Seed scene. The Dragon Seed scenes were really, really, really dope. A lot of fun. A lot of great shots cinematically during all that. You know, a lot of great shots. Not just one or two.
The reveal of Vermithor coming out of the shadows. I mean, come on.
I thought the shot of Alicent in the lake in the werewoods or whatever was dope too.
Yeah.
I thought that was a dope shot. With her in the water, I like seeing her like that. I thought that the angle of her face, something about that angle, just really did something for her. You know, like she was watching The Crow or whatever. You know, I didn't know if it was The Crow from the movie The Crow or some shit, or what was going on. But
or Raven.
Yeah.
But no. So it was really intense seeing the potential dragon fighting there at the end of to wrap the episode. It was like 2 episodes in a row of like high intense, you know, like shit, you know, going down right at the end, which I dig. I dig the suspense of it. You know, it's nice. Good way to go into episode 8. Really stir shit up, you know, and really put everything on the black side to where they look so stacked the way they do.
Yeah, no, I agree. Anything else, Jeff? Are you good? Just want to make sure. Okay, all right. Ben. All right. Ben, you're next. My brother. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm not gonna try and repeat what everybody said, but like I love the anticipation built up from Vermithor coming in, Rhaenyra touching him just going to town, all these folks, and then I just love how Hugh just is like, come on, I'm done.
His dragon penis?
Yeah. Had enough. Had enough of this. I've had enough. So I'm gonna get this dragon. It's just gonna be my bitch from now on. That's basically what he's. And then fuck. Sorry. And then with Ulf, yeah, it's I figured like it almost was. I was like, okay, they've had this build up. Ulf and Hugh have to get these dragons. It's inevitable at this point. Like they've set up these 2 characters the way they have. I was like, yeah, they get the dragons. They have to. And then the whole scene with King's Landing. It's really fun seeing that whole scheme that Clubfoot and that Clubfoot had with the other guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Jasper Wild.
Wild.
I mean, Jasper Wild. That whole thing just fall apart, and Aemon going to get Vhagar. Yeah, going to get Vhagar and go fly to Dragonstone, and him just being like, "Oh fuck, they have more dragons." The look on his face is like, huh.
Yeah. I also love how like after the painstaking care with which the Blacks took to make sure their dragons don't get near King's Landing for fear that they're gonna run into Vhagar, Ulf is just casually flying over King's Landing, showing it off, just being like, "Oh man!" And he almost looks like he doesn't know what he's doing, but he's like having so much fun. Like the show is taking all the right notes from How to Train Your Dragon to straight up ripping off the end of the first one for when Vhagar killed Arax to now it's like that. Like that just reminded me so much of like the first scene when Hiccup rides Toothless. That's exactly what I got watching Ulf ride Silverwing over King's Landing. It was great.
I didn't make that connection, but yes, I wholeheartedly agree because he's just having the time of his life flying this dragon, and then that end scene, I literally like got up and started jumping up and down with excitement and just being like, "Oh, this is gonna be so fucking good."
I think I've rewatched that end like that end sequence of Ulf riding Silverwing all the way to the end at least a minimum of 4 times today.
Yeah, I'll have to go rewatch it after this for sure because
Yeah.
it gets me so amped up for this next episode. Like I just seriously cannot wait till next Sunday. It can't come fast enough.
Yes.
Yeah,
Agreed.
no, agreed. Oh my god, it's crazy. We're like the end of July and we're going into August. It's crazy.
Yep.
Jermaine, you're up. What are your thoughts on the final part? Bring up anything we haven't brought up in this conversation. You're on the floor, sir. Come on.
Well, one thing is Rhaenyra's resolve. So everyone is telling her, no, don't do this. You can't do this. No man, especially no man, is telling her that this should be done. But she has this resolve in her that no, we're gonna do this. She basically sought to eliminate as much bloodshed as possible with their sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Like, she brought all of those people there, and she basically warned them, like, you might die, right? And that's exactly what a lot of them did. They died, but in the end, she got exactly what she wanted, and I thought that was masterful. There was something I kind of mentioned earlier, and I think Dom talked about it a little recently. The fact that Hugh, I think it was Ben. The fact that Hugh, he was scared at one point, but at a certain point, he was just like, nah, forget it. Come on, like, bring it. I'm ready. I'm ready to die. I'm ready for whatever might happen. And the fact that he was able to do that, I really do think that these dragons do sense the emotions of people, and that helps them to determine whether or not, 100%. Yes, I'm 100% accept you.
Yeah.
Whereas with Ulf was scared. for whatever reason, like he was just scared.
I love how he was pissing his pants, tripping in Silverwing's piss too. I thought that the symbolism there was incredible.
But also one thing that I wanted to talk about. Everyone has been talking about that very last scene. The decision to have Ulf fly into King's Landing, like, there had to have been some thought there. No, we're not gonna send our biggest dragon. Why? Because we want Aemon to come. We want Aemon to see all of these dragons that we've got. And I really do think that they were ready to fight or something. I don't really think that they anticipated that Aemon would leave, but by the simple fact that he did leave, it lets them know and lets Aemon know that they have the upper hand. That's all I got.
That they've been holding back. I also love how, too, that, like, when Hugh is literally faced out by Vermithor, I'm getting another kind of connection to The Wire where, like, Stringer Bell, right, when he was looking at Death's Door before he was, gunned down by Brother Mazone and Omar, he's like, well, get on with it, motherfucker, let's go! And then he finally, like, the dragon just comes out and he pets it. And I'm like, oh, man, it was great.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So, before we do the ratings, I have a question for you guys. Like, were you surprised that Ulf survived? Like,
no, because I read the book.
Oh, okay. So it's in the book. Okay, so never mind then. Because, like, I was, like, very surprised that, like, I thought he was gonna be killed. Like, it'll be like a funny, like, scene. Like, after Hugh got his dragon, I was like, okay, it will be like a horror movie. It's like, oh, maybe it's gonna be like maybe he's gonna be a dragon, and then bam, he's gonna be eaten.
Well, again, the other thing too also is it's not like that's the difference between Vermithor and Silverwing, but not only between each other but also the rest of the dragons. Is those were two of the most important dragons during the high reign of the Targaryens, ridden by Jaehaerys and Alicent, who under those two, they had like 30 years of peace before ultimately Jaehaerys' decision for Viserys to succeed him ultimately kind of kicked off the events that would eventually lead us to where we are. So those two dragons have been around for a long time. They've seen a lot, and they've been riderless for a long time, but they are typically more docile towards humans, particularly Silverwing. Silverwing is known for being one of the more docile dragons, and also the mother of all dragons. Between her and Dreamfire, they've essentially hatched a decent amount of the younger dragons that we've seen so far, and I love that she immediately saw Ulf. That's probably the first human that she's seen in her lair in a while.
All right. But Audrey, if you have another question, let's get it out of the way and do it. All right, like, let's move on with the show because we got plugs and we got ratings to do and all that.
Okay, all right, Jeff. Oh my God, this guy is impatient. All right, let's do ratings. The Dom, what's your rating?
4.5, only because the Allison sequences I still think are pointless, and Jace is a little bit impetuous. Other than that, fantastic episode, my favorite one of the season yet.
4.5. What we do?
4.5 out of 5.
We do 1 out of 10.
Yeah,
1 out of 10, but 9.5 out of 10 then.
Okay, awesome. Ben, what's your rating, sir?
I would say about a 9.5 as well. I really like this episode. This episode is fantastic.
Awesome. Jermaine, what's your rating, sir?
I give this one a 9. A 9. Oh, and the only reason it's a 9 is because, you know, if we had gotten that action, it would have been a 10.
Okay. Jeff, what's your rating, sir?
10 out of 10.
Really? Okay. All right. Oh man, this is a tough one. A 9.5 out of 10. I think it was a really great episode. I do agree with Jermaine. There wasn't too much action, but at the same time, it's still a great episode.
Best thing I'm watching right now. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, best thing right now to watch. So this has been really good. Before the Batman Cape series coming out soon. But anyway, that's not the point. So thank you everyone for joining us. Ben, it was great you joined us. It was great to see you, sir. Dom, Jermaine, it was great to see you guys again after missing out last week. So I'm gonna get so thank you guys for really being patient with me and with my second moderation here. I'm now gonna give it to Jeff. This is his floor now. Please send the links and plug, sir, right now.
Okay, sir, I will. Good job. All right. I'll start with you, Dom. Talking TV podcast, sir.
Yes, sir. Official Talking TV podcast, Talking TV on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you guys can see it. Letterboxd, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everything is basically there across all platforms. Like I said, I've been doing my own House of the Dragon recap every Sunday night, and I put up content as well. I just did recently my review of Deadpool and Wolverine, and I've been doing my best to keep this, this very uneventful and lackluster movie summer going. I also just recently finished my recap of The Boys season 4. A lot more content to come in the fall, so definitely are going to want to stay tuned for that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Jermaine.
All right, fantasy is reality. You know, we do everything fantasy, sci-fi, and reality. We have also finished our recap of The Boys, also Interview with a Vampire. What we're going to move into is basically we're going to go back to the books of Interview with a Vampire, and we're going to do basically a webinar, and we would love anyone who loves the books of Anne Rice to join us. We're going to start first with Interview with a Vampire, and then we're going to progress into the later books.
Okay. Andre's the pop culture guy.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the episode 7 review. It was really fun to moderate. So my channel, Andre's Pop Culture Channel Presents, I just recently did a live stream review on Black Widow with Jeff yesterday. Jeff, thank you so much for joining me yesterday. Thank goodness I'm getting over my COVID. I got COVID this week after coming back from Greece. I'm feeling better now, thank God. So I just recently posted the live stream review. I did a trailer for the Black Widow. I upload a trailer for the Black Widow thing. Tomorrow I'm gonna do Interstellar 10th anniversary because tomorrow Christopher Nolan's birthday is tomorrow. So yeah, getting ready for August. So it's gonna be great. So thank you everyone for joining tonight. This was a blast.
Batman, The Dark Knight Returns, Part 1 on Wednesday. Terminator 2 on Friday night. Thank you guys. All right, folks. We appreciate all of you. God bless you. We love all of you. We love the House of the Dragon Season 2. We'll see y'all later. Peace.
Yes, sir.
La la